The year was 2176. Not much had changed since your time. New heroes, new villains, the constant struggle of good and evil. I thought I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be a hero, just like you. So I went back to meet my idol, to meet my hero. As much as I fought it, my fate was to become the reverse of everything you stood for. My name is Eobard Thawne, and I am the fastest man alive.
I will become the fastest man alive!
Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Okay.
So now I've got nothing to lead up with this conversation about trying to think of something to lead up. So I'm just going to keep saying the word lead up until we hit 30 seconds. And there we are! Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I'm Sid Partu. Joining me today is Justin Cristelli, aka The Real Manos.
Hello, folks. I'm sorry you missed this incredible conversation we had before recording, but lost to time.
Lost to time. Unless they go back and listen with headphones and really try their best to selectively not hear the Flash music. Speaking of Flash, though, this week on Fan Film Reviews, we're discussing the first 3 episodes of the series Reverse Flash Origins by the channel Nerdbot. And this is something I found a couple weeks ago, and we at one point tried to review a Flash fan film on this show, but then it turned out that, like, a 4-year-old was playing the Flash, and I did not have the heart to try to critique that on any level.
Oh, no, yeah.
So this is the first time we've talked about anything Flash-related. I've been getting into more of a Flash thing. I've been doing reviews of the Jeff Johns collections with Jacob Carlson, so that's been kind of getting me in a Flash mood. Manos, do you like the Flash?
No,
not at all.
No,
just flat out awesome.
I don't. Actually, to be honest, I like Wally West, and I dislike Barry Allen immensely.
Okay.
I think the actor who plays him on the current show is really good. I think he's got a good spirit for the character. He makes him really likable. In general, I do not like Barry Allen.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
A lot, because it's partly due to me being a Wally West fan, and I really like that character, and I think he got ripped off by, look, Barry was dead and lost the position, and he just came back and took it. He's essentially the Jay Leno of superheroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's focus
and I admit that's probably not fair, but look, any kind of character he has these days, I think is ripped off from Wally.
Okay. Anyway, let's focus on this, though. So this is an interesting little beast. It's obviously ongoing because it's only 3 episodes in, about, I think, 2-3 months apart between episodes. And this is... I did a little bit of research on this one, like this done by a guy who's played Nightwing in a bunch of fan series before, Colin Bass, who's playing Eobard, that's a hard name. God, comic books. Thawne, who's playing the Reverse Flash. That's the guy's name is Colin Bass here. He did Nightwing and some stuff, and like he's connected to this channel that does like little cosplay shorts where they'll do like a short film to show off this cool cosplay suit, and that's kind of what this came out of.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is an extension of that. So the way that it was described, and once I heard that, it started to make a little bit more sense, is this is the timeline before the timeline in the CW series. So, like, we have the original Flash timeline where Barry Allen's the Flash and he never meets the Reverse Flash until Eobard Thawne grows up, idolizing the Flash, gets the powers, time travels back. This is the story of him time traveling back, and that timeline before he becomes the villain and time travels back again to kill Barry's mother. Timelines.
Oh yeah, I guess that's another reason why I hate the Flash. I hate this garbage.
You hate time travel?
I hate all this timeline garbage, like, oh, he did this, and then this, and oh, what timeline is it? I don't know. Like, oh man, I just want to, see some guys beat each other up. I don't take a course in fakey science that makes no sense.
Okay. Well, then I guess the question is, since you don't like Flash, you don't like Barry Allen, and you don't like alternate timelines, did you like this?
It was fine.
Okay. I just I could see the people that made this just sitting on the other end of the screen oh god, he's gonna rip us apart.
No, it's actually it's not really any of their fault. They did a good job with this thing I don't like. So anything that I don't like or any kind of attitude I have, it's because of the character in the franchise and what the so-called professionals have done over these years in comics and film. Mostly in comics. So yeah, I mean, they're fine. It's just the character I don't like.
Okay, no, that's fine. See, I think it's a really interesting idea to do a Reverse Flash origin because I don't know, you kind of want to know about that. Here's this guy from the future that idolized his hero, and then how does he become the most psychotic villain? Mm-hmm. That's an interesting character journey to see, I feel. That's something where the origin's actually interesting. It's not just an excuse to get the villain, you know?
It kind of reminds me of Kid Miracle Man, in a way.
I don't know of that.
Oh, that's kind of it. He was his young sidekick, and he became a psychopath.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like the approach they're going with here generally. I'm a little in and out on different parts. When Eobard kills a guy within his first, I don't know, 3 hours in 2019, I'm maybe that's a little too quick to have that kind of turn, but maybe they really want you to know this guy's got some moral ambiguity right from the beginning.
Yeah, although that was really not his fault. He, he didn't mean to kill him, but it does kind of set him on his way.
Yeah, it's not that necessarily he tried to kill the guy. It's just that he didn't try to kill him, but he did try to cover it up. So that's
where it gets you.
Yeah, right.
It's the choice what you do afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And so that one I'm a little iffy on. I think the introduction of the character Zoom in this is, it's just a little iffy. There's a lot of little particular choices that I think are weird, when he travels back to the future briefly to talk to his wife, girlfriend, whatever, and get the inspiration to go fight Zoom. I thought that was a bit much, but then I really liked the end of episode 3. I think the end of episode 3 is by far my favorite moment, where he goes too far ahead to talk to her, and she's just get the fuck away from me. That was a really good cliffhanger kind of moment right there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's the wonders of time travel, where you kind of are getting the sense of oh, there's shit to come. I don't know. It's when a show or a film or a comic book does a flash forward. Mm-hmm. Instead, we just have a character that's flashing forward and not the rest of us. So that's an interest. I don't know if they're going to follow up on that. I don't know if that's their plan. I guess it's going to be depending on what he did, and her attitudes will be reflected on that.
Well, the line I really liked from her is, "I don't care what Eobard you are, what timeline you're from. Stay away from me. You're dead to me." That's the thing I find really interesting, is in, what was it, a year, or maybe it was 5 years or something like that, he's completely destroyed this relationship. And so you begin to, in the episodes we've seen Eobard kind of become obsessed and just put on a face when he's around the Flash. And now, we're seeing that seems to be that seems to have gone further and further to the point where he doesn't care about anything except being the best. And I think that's a really interesting idea.
Yeah, I would have. And that, I guess, that paints the tragedy that they're trying to make here. But that's an interesting idea, because I don't know anything about the Reverse Flash outside of his name's Professor Zoom, and he hates the Flash, and he's a killer.
Quick school lesson on the Reverse Flash. Dude grew up idolizing Barry Allen, found a old costume of Barry Allen's, was able to deduce how to give himself Speed Force powers from the costume, went back in time to like try to befriend Barry Allen, but then became very disappointed or disillusioned with his idol, something vague. That part I don't know a ton about. But then that ended up making him into a bad guy who became, criminally obsessed, and then he wanted to try to kill Barry Allen, but because of how he got his powers, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, he could never kill Barry Allen, because otherwise he could never exist. So it's this, it's an interesting dynamic in the comics, and it's kind of cool to see that translated to film. I feel reasonably well by these guys. There's some stuff where I'm like, maybe a couple more takes would have been a bit better, and I'm getting, not to the same extent, but similar to that Godzilla fan film we talked about, I'm getting a little bit of this sense of these opportunities are presenting themselves as they go, and so they're altering their story to put them in. Like, I don't think Kid Flash was meant to be in this series originally, or this series itself. Like, maybe he was meant to exist, but I didn't think he was meant to appear. But then it seemed like they got a cosplayer or a Kid Flash cosplay costume, and so they wrote him in. And so there's just stuff like that. I'm like, it seems like you're just adjusting your story maybe a little too much. And then there's like some other technical stuff. But overall, I'm reasonably happy with this.
I think so. Technically, it looks like the CW show, just with a smaller budget, with the costuming and the effects, and that cityscape where you see from above and you see him shooting all around. I feel that's from the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that in the show. I really like the way they did a fight between Reverse Flash and Zoom, but just, going to a big cityscape and blue line, red line running around the city. It's like Tron up in this bitch. I don't know, that's really cool. Just it's minimalistic, but it gives you the sense of kind of like an epic Flash fight ensuing, and Barry Allen's not there, which is neat.
Yeah, well, it does make sense. It's, these gods who can move at the speed of light. So, I mean, how else are they going to fight, and we're going to be able to watch it? Oh, it's almost like, there's this episode of Dragon Ball Z where Goku and I think it's Vegeta start fighting for the first time, and they're going so fast that, Gohan and Krillin can't see them at first, and they have to focus. And it's very minimalist. They're like flashing across. I can't remember if it's him versus Vegeta, or is it the other guy?
I know the fight you're talking about, because like Gohan gets lectured to try to pay attention more and stuff like that. I think it's Goku and Nappa. Yeah,
I think it is Nappa.
Yeah.
And I always did stick out to me. Like, it's cool, minimalistic,
cheap, but it's cool as shit, right?
Yeah. Well, sometimes cheap things are cool, or sometimes the cool things are cheap.
Yeah. It is one of those things. Like, it's an incredibly effective choice, and it makes it seem better than it actually is. Like, you could maybe show these guys running and trading blows as they go in and out of traffic or something, or you can just do a little animated red line on a cityscape, and that's just, I don't know, it just works.
That's one of the things I think is so interesting about Flash or any speedster really, is they can't just go fast and just be a dumb clod. They have to think at the speed of light. Otherwise they're dead the first time they really go anywhere, or creating a massive amount of destruction. Yeah, you have to kind of think like, okay, like move at the speed of light through a city without killing everyone in sight.
Right. So there's just stuff like that I think is really cool in here. Again, some of the other technical stuff I'm a little iffy on, and some of the other story things, like in the first encounter between Reverse Flash and Zoom, when Reverse Flash is about to kill him, Barry just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, he literally just appears out of nowhere. And you could probably offer a justification like, oh, well, he's noticing the energy from the Speed Force, blah, 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 science. But just, it's weird not to have that scene where he notices it, because otherwise he just appears kind of, you know, something ex machina, word I cannot say.
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, you know, stuff like that. There's a little bit of an iffy line and a lot of, you know, conveniences in this. But at the same time, I don't know, I'm willing to forgive it because I like what they're doing enough.
Yeah. I really do. Yeah, it does really... I am pretty impressed with the fact that it really does feel part of that universe, part of that version of this kind of universe. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's pretty well tailored for it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you know, it's just some of the little stuff is interesting. The guy playing Reverse Flash kind of looks like the guy who's actually Reverse Flash in the CW show, because what's his face that plays the professor character that's like a different alternate universe guy in every season. He, in the first season's not actually Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash stole that dude's face. Science, technology, whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, the original actor or the character that's originally the Reverse Flash. God, this is complicated.
Yeah, see? That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, like, you know, that actor this guy kind of looks like. So stuff like that, I don't know. It's pretty cool to just see it all kind of come together in a lot of ways like that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. To me, the Flash at its worst is like when you take any technobabble scene from a 90s Star Trek show and put superhero costumes on it. And there you go. That's the Flash. And
No, that's very understandable.
It's like, can you just hit a guy with a shark face and, you know...
Let me ask you this, because this is something I know I've heard people complain about. I actually do kind of have a similar complaint with the series, the CW show, and I think it's kind of extending to this. Is it weird to just, like, always have the Flash going up against another guy whose power is speed? You know, like, you know, Superman doesn't fight another Superman every other week, right? Does that kind of feel a little off to extend that to here, where we got Reverse Flash dealing with Flash and Zoom and all that stuff in this continuity?
I suppose so. Although this is their only shot at this, so, you know, they would want to work with that. I can't really speak to the series. I've only seen a handful of episodes of the CW Flash. Mm-hmm. Most of them are crossovering with Supergirl, which is the show I do watch. Mm-hmm. So is that a problem? Does he not fight enough of his regular guys?
He'll like, the show does the other rogues, but, like, the main villain for every season's basically been another speedster. So
I see. Okay.
Like, it just seems like it's maybe a little repetitive, and maybe it's a little bit of a disappointment to already have Reverse Flash and Flash in this, and to introduce another more, you know, global threat in another speedster kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe that's just, you know, speedster fatigue, I guess. I don't know. And I stopped watching the Flash series after season 2 because it pissed me off. But it was still interesting to see this and see how closely it's tied in. And given that they're getting the costumes from, like, recreations of the suits we see in the show, it makes a lot of sense that they'd, you know, go for trying to do something that's one way or another worked in with that continuity. Yeah. What do you think of the costuming in this?
Since the costuming is
big claim.
The costuming is quite good. I was very impressed with it. I suppose the black costume guy is like that's Reverse Flash, right? Professor Zoom.
No, that's Zoom.
Oh, that's Zoom. Okay, his is a little costume looking. The other two suits look really good. They look really authentic for the show.
Yeah, I think in the like actual series, Zoom's mouth is CG or at least partially animated in post, so it's a little weird to, like, see it just kind of hanging there, and occasionally it moves a little bit.
Yeah, it does look like a mask.
Yeah.
So outside of that, to be honest, that's a nitpick, really. The costuming, I think, looks, pretty spot on.
Yeah, I really like Reverse Flash's costume. I think it looks the best. I think the Flash costume is already a little weak just from the series. I know a lot of people have complained about that. So it's like, it's consistent, if nothing else, with the material it's pulling from. But I don't know, I'm not in love with that costume in this. I also think the actor doesn't quite fill it out enough, so it just looks a little baggy too much. But the Reverse
Flash, a wee
Flash
baggy,
yeah, the Reverse Flash is just really, really cool to see. And since he's the main character, his is the one that matters the most. I think it looks really, really good, all things considered. Though there is one tiny, tiny nitpick, which normally I wouldn't mention if not for the fact that they put it in a close-up. The symbol Velcro's on.
I was going to mention that. It's like you're going at the speed of light. Wow, Velcro is more impressive than I thought.
Yeah, and like normally, you can kind of sort of see it in one shot, and I think it's like episode 2, whenever he's doing the vlogs for his journal. You can kind of sort of see the Velcro spots. So like there, I wouldn't even mention it. It's that they show it in a close-up, and I'm like...
Yeah, in episode 3, they have a real tight close-up of it. It's like, darn it.
Yeah, it's like...
It just looks really cheap.
Yeah, it highlights the budget a little too much. And I don't know how else you really do it. I don't know if you maybe do a pan, like a rotation shot or something, where you see him start to take it off, but you block it with the hand, and then you rotate around the whole body as he puts the new one on with the other hand, maybe.
Yes.
Just alternate ideas to, like, hide the budget, but do it in such a way that makes things more dynamic. Stuff like that.
I agree. I've been involved in, like, low-budget shoots, and your friend is... alternate angles and blocking. That can cover up a lot of budgetary problems.
Yeah, and this does a decent job of that, because I don't know, did you notice the amount of ADR, particularly in the 3rd episode?
Not that I really picked up on it. I guess I'd have to watch it again.
I watched this twice. I've noticed it a little bit the first time and a little bit more the second, since I was looking for it, but the 3rd episode, like, you just get the sense that they're shooting outside. You can kind of see wind blowing, what's her name? The detective, Spitzer or Spencer or something like that.
I think it's Spencer.
Yeah, it's some with an S. Like, you can see her hair's blowing a little bit, and if you look for it, you
Swanson.
can tell that
Was it Swanson?
I don't know. I don't
Sean
care.
Swanson? Okay. Sorry, I got obsessed with finding out.
No, it's cool. Like, you see her hair blowing a little bit, and you can tell that it's kind of like dubbed in if you look for it. But it's limited close-ups. It's more medium and distant shots, and so the sound doesn't. Like, the sound of the actors talking doesn't sound like it doesn't belong in the scene. It's dubbed in well. It's maybe a little, like, just shy professional, but not awfully. Like, you have to... I feel like you have to be looking for the dub, or you're gonna maybe just notice it, Mm-hmm. And so I was reasonably impressed with that, given that, dubbing is obviously something that a lot of lower budget productions have to kind of deal with, because, if you don't have a great microphone, wind can ruin a shoot. Something I always tell people, in case anyone's looking for advice on this, people that made this or anyone else doing doing short films, if you have bad sound in your shoot, look into Audacity's audio remove or audio reduce tool, because it can let you remove the wind noise, and it's not going to be 100%, might not be perfect. You may still want to dub it, but you might have a cleaner take. So just something to always consider. And there are more complicated ways of doing it, but Audacity has the benefit of being free. So, just stuff like that. It's a little bit here and there, but overall, I was really happy with how this turned out. Did you what do you think of the quality of the acting in this?
I thought it was mostly pretty good. There were a couple of actors here and there that were a little weaker than others, but the main leads, I thought, especially, I rather liked Barry, and of course our lead, I liked them quite a bit. His girlfriend at the first scene was a little shaky, I thought, with her emotional scene. But for the most part, I think it's pretty decent kind of B-level acting, B-movie acting. But maybe a high grade, not we're not talking like Ed Wood level, but I mean a little bit, kind of along those lines.
I'd say like TV level quality for a lot
I would
of,
say
like,
so.
Daytime or not daytime, but like just general television kind of shows.
Better than daytime. I'd say better than daytime.
Yeah.
I think mostly strong. I think the performance was mostly pretty dependable.
Okay, that's fair. The romantic interest character in this, whose names escape me at the moment, I thought her first scene and the second time we see her in episode 2, like her first scene I thought was pretty good. Episode 2, I think it might have just been the line, because I had a bit of an Anakin Skywalker, I killed them all, not just the men, but the women and the children too. Where he's like, even if I have to kill, and she's still just like, yes! And I'm like, oh, that's maybe a writing issue or a performance issue or possibly both. But then, man, when she flips on him at the end of that third episode, that was really, really good. That made me really interested in her and what their dynamic's going to be.
Yeah, even with my problems with her first scene, her last scene, I thought made up for it.
Yeah.
Because I was trying, when I was getting ready for this review, it was like, oh man, how am I going to address this? Because, I don't want to be particularly cruel on that first scene. But you're right, her other scenes are much stronger.
Yeah. For me, the first scene isn't so much as a problem as it is that second time she appears. And again, it's like, I can be better than Barry. You can. Even if it means killing, that's fine. I'm like,
I feel like that might be more of the writing than the actual performance.
Okay, that's fair. And yeah, that's another thing where I'm like, there's, he could have said, even if I have to go farther than Barry, because we, the audience, would get that he means killing, but she wouldn't necessarily. And so that might have been a better way to write that line. Yeah. Yeah, just stuff like that. Little things. And this is just general rule for anything. Tighter dialogue is always better dialogue. If you can say it in 3 words instead of 5, do it. Just always. But, whatever works. All right. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Nothing's coming to mind right away. You got anything else you wanted to mention with this? Any other lingering thoughts?
No, not really. It's just Reverse Flash will never be as cool as Reverse Cowgirl. But otherwise, I really have nothing else.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Manos. Appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Oh, my. All right. What do we... Oh, wait. Let's go on to ratings then. I'm going to give this... I feel 4 out of 5 is fair, because there's a lot of problems with it. There are a lot of, little things, and they can easily be cleared up, especially since it's an ongoing series. It definitely makes me want to watch more, So I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 Velcro pieces on the costume.
And I would probably give it 4 out of 5 dead berries.
Nice. I can dig that. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching some Flash fan film with me, Manos. I'm curious to see what the Flash fan base thinks of this one.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this until you showed me this, so I'm not sure what they're thinking. Although, granted, I have to confess to you, I don't spend my nights awake wondering what the Flash fan base think of things.
Not even Flash related things. Just what did the Flash fan base think of what's the Guillermo del Toro one?
Let's see. What
Lady in the Water, or whatever the water one
Shape
is.
of Water. Shape of Water.
Yeah. What did the Flash fan base think of Shape of Water? Yeah. I need to know.
What did they think about our new tax bill?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, Manos, what are we going to be talking about next week?
Well, I thought we'd stick with hilarity and do the pretty well-known Power Rangers fan film. This is the one with Katie Sackhoff. I think it's Power/Rangers, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But yeah, it's pretty well known. Like, to me, it was kind of like a jokey idea. It was taking the idea of a dark adult Power Rangers and kind of having fun with it. At least that's kind of the take I got from it.
Okay, sounds good. Everyone, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the realist.
And we are your geeky gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.